Dan Slott and Mark Bagley reunite once more as Spider-Man faces a new threat to the Spider-Verse, which will see him teamed with one of his most feared villains. Dan Slott makes his big return to writing Spider-Man for this new in-canon series that jumps right back into all of the Spider-Verse stuff he originally brought up in his run, almost like he never left the book and was just on a little bit of a break. The first issue here was a lot of fun and was just pure Spider-Man goodness mixed in with larger multiversal plot stuff. I love the way Slott writes everyday Spider-Man, just fighting everyday goons, having a good time, and being a friend to the people of New York. It's the stuff I've really missed in the last few writers' runs, and while it's been there sometimes, there's just a casualness to the way Slott captures all of this that just feels right. We also got big event stuff in the form of a new threat to the Spider-Verse, forcing Peter to team with Morlun the Inheritor. Spider-Man teaming with a villain is nothing new, but Morlun is very interesting given his connections to several Spider-Man family people like Silk, whose whole life has been kind of defined by the Inheritors hunting her and trying to find her and come after her, so I'm looking forward to seeing what their dynamic with each other is. I know some people aren't too keen on the whole Web of Life, Chosen One stuff with Peter and Spider-Man, but I have definitely warmed up to it since its inception, and it's totally the type of over-the-top comic booky stuff a comic like Spider-Man should be doing, so I'm very much excited to see that sort of come back to the forefront of the Spider-Man storytelling. Mark Bagley also returns with Dan Slott, adding his classic style back to the Wallcrawler, giving it all a fantastic kinetic, fast-paced feel to it, and a very Ditko-esque style mixed with modern colouring and action set pieces is a fantastic choice for Spider-Man, since it gives it all a kind of timeless feel, which is something I think Spider-Man does very well, and here is no different. Spider-Man issue 1 saw Slott and Bagley make their triumphant return to the book with a fun, action-heavy first issue filled with twists, turns, and a lot of friendly neighborhood Spider-Man goodness. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Spider-Man issue 1 finds Peter remembering when the spider bit him all those years ago, and how when a spider weaves its web, it's just like how they go about their lives, knowing you either go left or right, tie up loose ends or start new threads, and you think your choices matter and you're part of some grand design, but you aren't, and it's all random, and he didn't choose to get bit by that spider and get powers and become Spider-Man, it's just something that happened. However, he's going to try his best with what he has. Peter gets a call from Norman Osborn, who needs a favour from Spider-Man since an Oscorp truck was hijacked and is heading towards Peter's general direction. Peter isn't happy that Norman is tracking him, but Osborn says that he didn't, since he signs Peter's checks and he knows where he lives, and the fact that Peter always oversleeps and takes the same route to work. Peter gets suited up, never getting used to the fact that now he's working with Norman Osborn. Bug's frantic clicks tell Peter to hurry up as the truck speeds down the street, pursued by the cops who are fired upon by the thieves. Bug lands on the truck, hitting it with an EMP and taking out its brakes. Spider-Man swings in and saves a woman and her daughter from the truck as it slams into the building they were standing in front of. The woman tells Spider-Man to go and kick the thieves' asses as the hero confronts the goons, drawing a crowd which doesn't disperse despite Peter telling them to get clear, but one of them filming says that they are only goons with ray guns, nothing like the Rhino or anything. Spider-Man thinks the man has a point as he makes short work of the goons, reminding them of the hyphen in his name as the people cheer for the hero. Spider-Man contacts Detective Sebbins, telling them of the hijackers, but the detective already knows thanks to someone live streaming the event. Peter has Bug drop $1 in a local musician's bucket, but the kids complain that it's only $1. As Peter asks for a pen so he can leave his famous catchphrase on the goons, Shathra watches the predictable Spider-Man from the Loom world. She asks Nestling how many times she has tracked, killed, or turned Spider-Man's counterparts, but Nestling has lost count. Shathra demands her underling open them a portal to the Prime Dimension, unleashing a bug swarm to herald the end and the final sting of Shathra. At the Spider Sanctuary on an unknown world, Spider-Girl knows that Shathra has made her move on Earth 616 and is going after the Chosen One. Madam Web knows that their Peter is the only hope the Spider-Verse has, so she wants to send an impulse to all of the 616 spiders to protect Peter. She asks about the new recruits and if they can send any of them to reinforce the spiders, but Spider UK knows they're a bit raw and too unexperienced, knowing that they have to open a portal since they have to send their biggest gun instead. Peter meanwhile finishes up talking with the people and taking photos as he gets a call from Norman, who asks if he can get the tech off the truck and back to Oscorp, not wanting it to be put into police evidence since it's valuable. Spider-Man's spider sense suddenly triggers as Shathra's wasp swarm arrives on Earth, The bugs attack the crowd as Peter tells the people to run. The webbed up goons begin getting stung, prompting the hero to rip them out of the web, demanding they don't make him regret letting them go. Spider-Man grabs one of the bugs, finding it to be a spider wasp, thinking that it looks familiar as a bright portal opens. Peter hopes it's not some other biblical plague as Morlun arrives. Peter doesn't waste any time beating the vampire over and over, but Morlun simply slaps him down with the force of a Hulk. Bug attaches himself to the villain, electrocuting him, but he merely rips it off and crushes it, wanting to talk to Peter like an adult. Peter webs his mouth closed, beating Morlun until his fists are a ragged mess, yet it does nothing to bring him down. Norman contacts him, telling him the suit's registering his heart rate going off the charts. Peter assures him that he's fine, but Morlun grabs him, slamming him into cars and the hard asphalt as Norman continues to ask what he's doing to the suit since it's the best money can buy and top of the line. Peter's suit is ripped apart by Morlun's strikes, going offline as Peter lay beaten on the ground. Peter knows that he doesn't need the suit since he's got something better as Miles and Silk arrive, webbing Morlun's fists and keeping him pinned down as Peter tells them to get out of there since Morlun is more than the three of them can handle. Spider-Woman appears, hitting Morlun with an energy blast as Peter asks how his friends knew to come and help him. Silk says that she heard a voice in her head, something Miles also heard. Peter thinks that with Morlun, portals, voices in people's heads and spiders coming together, this is something Spider-Verse related, finding himself not very happy about that. Silk doesn't like that Peter is joking about Morlun, having spent half her life hiding from the Inheritors. As she's stung by one of the wasps, she attacks Morlun, sick of hiding from him and his ilk. Miles joins the battle as well as Spider-Man Noir arrives via another portal, making Peter ask if more of them are coming. Noir doesn't think so as the spiders overwhelm Morlun. Peter is stung by one of the wasps as he sees Noir reach for a large blade, something Peter wasn't expecting the gun-toting Noir to use, as Noir says that Peter is out of friends, plunging the blade into Spider-Woman's stomach. Noir says that Peter is running out of friends and apologizes to Jessica since she deserved better than this, but this is Spider-Verse for you. Peter rushes to help Jessica, who notes there's no blood or even a stab wound. Noir says the blade doesn't cut like a traditional blade, but now she is severed from the web of life. Suddenly Spider-Woman begins unraveling, fading out of existence as she screams about her son. Madam Web and Anya know that Noir came for Peter, but Julia knows that Peter won't be severed from the web since they have already sent him all the help he needs. Morlun suddenly attacks Noir, ripping the web from his mouth and telling Peter that he is there to help him and his family, since the Spider-Verse has fallen to a greater threat than the Inheritors. More portals appear as Noir reveals that he has turned into a monster and all of the heroes have been stung, so either they join him or they will be severed as well. The heroes refuse to, as out of the portal come a monstrous Spider-Punk, Spider-Girl and Spider-Gwen to back Noir up.